tolerate another human being. You either accept them or you reject them. If you're telling me that you're tolerating me, you're saying you really don't want me around, but the law is such that I can't just kill you outright.
Yeah.
So I just tolerate your presence.
Mm-hmm.
And really, if we really understood the word in its deepest meaning, we understand that we're not getting acceptance. They're just telling them, tolerate them. Why? Because they have money that we can get from them.
Mm-hmm.
They spend their money with us.
Yeah.
And they realize that, you know, if we set it up in a certain way, we can still discriminate against. We can still redline them in certain neighborhoods. We can still price them out of the market.
Yeah.
But we can still get their dollars.
Right.
See? And let them
Wow.
gain money and give it right back to us.
Mm.
Because we don't spend any of our money helping ourselves.
No, we don't.
We give it all back to them.
No, we do not.
So that was the thing. The main thing is all of it has to be broken down, and you have to rebuild your mindset to the perspective that you had before you were brainwashed into white society.
So how did we do that? Because like when we integrated with our enemy, we took on their culture. We took on their ways, their thought process, their ideas, their concepts, their religion, their God.
Right.
You name it, we took it. So how
Right.
do we get back to that?
You just said it yourself. The teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said we have to be taught everything all over again.
Mm.
Because even the scripture tells you were born in sin, shaped in iniquity. And some people say, well, no, we're not born sinners. It didn't say you were born a sinner.
Yeah.
It said you were born in sin. So you're born into a sinful society and shaped by a devilish person.
Into the iniquity.
Right.
Wow.
Everybody is born in submission to God.
Right.
When you breathe,
Right.
you're submitting to God.
Right. Because the original nature of the human being is not sin.
But we were shaped, born into a sinful world and shaped by a person that has established a society of sin.
Mm.
So the things that we learned as we grew shaped us into sin and got us away from that natural inclination in our mind and said, man, you know, something about that don't seem right. But everybody's doing it, so it must be okay.
Yeah.
See? So they socialized us out of our nature. Just like they take a lion out of the jungle and they get him to jump through a fiery hoop, they socialize him out of his nature. And then when he produces another lion that's never been in the wild, he doesn't know anything about that. He don't know anything about his natural habitat. So we were born in slavery. We were born into that mind. They had already trained our parents and all of that to think that way. So from the time we came out of the womb, they were teaching us the ways of sin. Not on purpose, but that's what they were doing. When they were teaching us about, and when you look around in the house and you got a white Jesus on the wall and you open the Bible to Revelations and it says, well, wait a minute, something don't match. But we didn't know that when we were young.
Right.
We couldn't go to Revelation 1, is the first chapter of Revelation 13 through 19 where they describe him as a black man.
Right.
We couldn't do that, so we looking at a white Jesus. So all of our lives, every time we pass that picture, then we go to church, it's a white Jesus. You go here, it's a white Jesus. If you see it in a book, it's a white Jesus. It's like, okay, Jesus is a white man.
Wow.
So when somebody begins to tell you they don't know he's a black man, and then look, this is the excuse. Well, it doesn't make any difference. Okay, if it doesn't make any difference, let's describe him like it's described in the Bible.
Right, because all the historical paintings of him depicted him such as it describes in the Bible.
And it had to be a reason for you to change him from the description in the Bible to a Caucasian.
Yeah.
There had to be a reason behind it, because if Jesus is a man of truth, why would you lie about the description of a man of truth?
Because, you know, it's funny that you bring that up, because I was on Instagram and a white man, he said he was a preacher of Christ.
Right.
And somebody had challenged him on the depiction of Christ, of Jesus. And he said, well, no, what is in Revelation is depicting his heavenly form.
Huh?
I said heavenly
So he had a
form.
body in heaven?
Right, but I said, they say God is spirit, right? They say Jesus is God. Okay, let's go on their belief.
Okay, let's go.
Jesus is God. Then the Bible says God is spirit. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth.
And in truth, right.
A definition of spirit is something without physical form.
Exactly.
So if Jesus is God and he's in heaven and he's a spirit, how does he have a heavenly form?
Now, and let me give you something else.
Yeah.
Why do the popes go to Rome and Poland and all that and bow to a black Jesus and a black Madonna? You can Google it. They got pictures of the popes worshiping at a black Jesus and a black Madonna. So how is he going to answer that particular question? And he's supposed to be the intermediary between the people in the Christian religion and God. But he's bowing to a black Jesus and a black Madonna. So how you going to explain that one?
Right.
So there's so many things historically that we didn't access to understand the truth about Jesus. And a lot of people think, well, we don't believe in Jesus. That's not true. We believe in him so much that his mother has a whole chapter in the Quran. We just say that a lot of lies have been told in that good man's name.
Right, and love him so much that even the main mosque of the Nation of Islam, Mosque
Maryam,
the mother of
his
Jesus.
mother.
Yeah.
So how could you say, you can't be a Muslim and not believe in Jesus? See, we even say we believe in the Bible, but we believe in the truth of the Bible and believe it has been tampered with and has to be reinterpreted so that mankind will not be snared by the falsehoods that have been added to it. See, when Jesus said, there's many things I can say unto you now, no, there are many things that I can say unto you, but you can't bear them now. But when he didn't say when I come back, he said when he, the Spirit of truth comes, he'll reveal unto you all truth. And he said he's going to come in my name and shew many things. So he's not talking about himself coming back. He's saying another guy is going to come just like me with the same truth that I teach. It's similar. Let me give a martial art example. If there's certain techniques in martial art and a guy studies them over time and he becomes a grandmaster, right? Every single student after that studies that and submits themselves to the same level as this guy, and he passed the same test, he also can become a grandmaster. Right? And nobody says, well, no, there's nobody grandmaster other than the first one that was named, that they gave the title grandmaster, right? It's just a title to say I went through a certain process and I was successful. I submitted myself to a process and I was successful. So when you say the Christ or the exalted Christ, it's saying that here's a man that went through the same process. He submitted like Jesus submitted to do the will of God to the same level, so that exalts him to the level where you give him the label of Christ. And the Christ means one anointed with power to crush the wicked. How do you crush the wicked? It ain't no spooky way. By putting the word of truth in people's heads and transforming their lives. That's how you crush the wicked. See? So if you get people all over the world begin to not listen to the voice of Satan and listen to the voice of God, you're crushing the wicked. Every time you get somebody to say, I'm going to submit my will to do God's will, rather, if I'm going to stop drinking, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm going to stop fornicating, I'm going to stop doing all these things, you're crushing the wicked. Because you're crushing the things that he taught us to do that were contrary to God.
That's deep. That's deep.
So they wanted to integrate us into a thought process is, if it feels good, do it. And if it ain't right, it ain't right. That's what integration did to us. Even, you know, well, you may be a little too young. I don't know if that happened in your family. But when I was coming up, the lighter you were, the cuter you were. The prettier you were.
Oh, yeah.
The more people made over you. Oh, that's a beautiful baby. Oh, you know, I met a sister, and it took me a while to get her to understand she was so beautiful. And she was jet black. But you know what her nickname was in her family? Monk, for monkey.
What?
And she accepted that as her nickname.
No way.
No, for real. When I met her, I was like, so one day I said, sis, she was beautiful. I said, sis, what you need to do, and I said, I'm not trying to be, but look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your skin. Look at you have no blemishes nowhere. I said, look at yourself. And then go around and look at other people in comparison to you. You're not a monkey. You don't look nothing like a doggone monkey.
Right.
And it took a while to get her self-esteem back up. I said, stop allowing people to call you monk. That was her nickname, man, monk.
And then, you know,
and only because she was the darkest one in her family.
Wow. And it's so funny you talk about names, because like your name carries a certain energy. Exactly. It carries a vibration.
Exactly.
And so when you keep getting, when she kept getting called monk, as you notice, her self-esteem started to go down, and she started identifying with that.
That's right.
With that energy.
That's right. I'm really nothing.
Yeah.
I'm way down here. You know what I mean? And so that, and you're right, brother. Her self-esteem was totally almost gone. And I pumped her up every day. You know, how beautiful, how intelligent you are. Went back to school, got a job at a lawyer's office. All before that, she thought she couldn't do none of that. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Go test yourself, and you'll find out that you're brilliant. And so that's what they do to us in general. That and the Willie Lynch syndrome. keep us divided on color, keep us divided on hair texture, keep us divided on the young against the old. And that's where we get the Crip and the blood and all. And the people don't even understand the Crip and the blood is the red coats and the blue coats on a small scale. Because think about it, the Revolutionary War, the red coats and the blue coats, we're still duplicating them on a small scale. The red and the blue, that's what they wore in the dominant society. So we're still mimicking them and we don't even realize it.
Wow, that's deep, man. That is so deep.
And if we looked at things closer, we say we still imitating them and we don't even realize it.
Then let's talk about how integration, how it took a weight on our diet.
Oh man.
I mean, talk about that, brother.
Oh man. The worst thing that ever happened to us was fast food. And this comes to my mind, so I got to mention this first. I was pushing the final call on Lake Mead and MLK, and in the Jack in the Box let us use their restroom, right? And we go in there periodically and get water. And so I was close to the door, and there was two sisters standing by the door, and one was asking the other, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? She said, I don't care what it is, as long as it's fast. I don't care what it is, as long as it's fast. So now we're looking at it as one of the impetus for that was the so-called career woman, that women don't belong in the kitchen. That's not the only place she belongs, but the way God set the thing up, right? That a woman is a beautifier.
Yeah.
So a woman is more prone to be the one that cooks the meals, so she can put love into the meals. So they made our women think that was belittling you to prepare meals. So I don't have time for that. I got a job now. See? And then they gave the man the pimp mentality. It's okay for me to sit there like a baby and have my wife take care of me. So they disrupted our society and the thinking in the society. So now they introduced the microwave. They introduced, what do you call that, pot pie and pop up this and pop up that. And so we wanted a quick